Hey everybody. Hi, my name is Crispina French, and I am a textile upcycling entrepreneur, activist, coach, instigator, encourager. And I am so excited to be here with you live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hop on here and I go live, except for when there's weeks that have holiday weekends, like in the United States. Like last weekend was Labor Day weekend. So Tuesday, I kind of shove all my Monday stuff over onto Tuesday, and it's just does not work. So I'm super excited to be with you today. Today, I want to talk to you about this really cool event that's coming up that I'm actually presenting at, and it's actually produced by Salvage Magazine. Salvage Magazine is a gorgeous publication, and hold on one second. I'm going to get up and grab one for you so I can show it to you. And if you're just tuning in, don't fear, I'll be right back. So I keep all my Salvage magazines, and I just grabbed a handful right off my shelf. So this is Salvage Magazine, and it's published over in London in the UK. Polly Leonard is the editor, and it's just this gorgeous, gorgeous publication. You can see like it's a really nice size, and it's very it just feels really good in your hands. And it's called Salvage the Fabric of Your Life. So it's really fabric, you know, art, like it's just a cool publication that's really focused on fabrics and the creativity that happens with textiles. So they're having an event called it's called the Wardrobe Revolution Weekend. Has anybody out there heard about this? It's coming up in October. And before I keep going about the Wardrobe Revolution Weekend, I'm gonna pop a comment, a little link in the comments. It'll be in most places. If you don't see a link in the comments, I will make sure that the link goes into like the Instagram. I don't think it's in my bio right now, but if you go to salvage.org /, you know what, just go to salvage.org, and I think that you'll be able to find more information about the Wardrobe Revolution Weekend. So the event that's coming up is October 8th and 9th, and I will be presenting on the 8th. There's all sorts of different events that you can participate in, like a la carte. So you can like listen to my presentation. There's me and a bunch of other people presenting on Saturday. And it's like, I think it's like $50 or something like that to participate in that. And it's like, I think it's like a 3-hour segment. I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, check that out. Rochelle loves Salvage. I love Salvage too, Rochelle. I do not get, do you get the Europe or world one? Geez, I didn't realize there were different ones. This is the Europe one. This is the Europe one. It says Europe on the little barcode down here, and I didn't realize there was a difference. So cool that there is. So anyways, if you're interested in textile upcycling, consciousness around what to use, right? Like, what do you use that's going to be like the most gentle on our planet, and also enable you to, be fashionable? Because honestly, guys, like, all this textile upcycling stuff is really cool, but it's also really nice to feel like you look the way you want to, right? You want to be able to be creative in your attire and how you put yourself together. So there is this amazing place that you can find that combines those two things. So you're able to be conscientious and thoughtful about the textiles that you're consuming or using, and you're also able to think about your presentation to the world and making sure that those things are working in concert so that you're feeling comfortable in your visual presentation, your creativity, and your outfits. And then you're also able to not pollute the world and wear things that might not be good for you or the planet. So Salvage is all about those two things. Or this particular Wardrobe Revolution weekend is really focused on how to revolutionize your wardrobe so that you can find that place where those two things work really well. Does anybody, first of all, these sessions I do live on Tuesdays. Has anybody been with me before? Let me know. If this is this your first time? Did you just stumble across me here, or do you plan on joining me on Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern time? Let me know that. Let me know where you're listening and if you're live or if this is a recording for you. Um, at any no matter what, welcome to my live stream here on Tuesdays. I call it Tuesdays Textile Alchemy. I feel pretty strongly that people who are able to take waste material, things that are like discarded and either thrown away or they're not useful in how they were originally designed to be used, if the people who are able to take that material and turn that into something that is beautiful and artful and meaningful and useful, um, it is a magical process, right? So alchemists, it just kind of fits there. Um, oh, Melissa Draper says she has a timer set to get my inspiration every Tuesday. Melissa, thank you so much. I'm really that's so flattering. I find your feed and your interaction is also very inspiring. So thank you for that. And Donalyn Shaw. Donalyn is a blast from the past. And one of the things I've been thinking about as I'm putting my presentation for Salvage together is the path, right? Like I coach a group that's called the Stitcherhood Alchemists, and we go through kind of 12 kind of fundamental foundational pieces that create a successful textile upcycling business that supports us, right, with the level of income that we want, which is, I think a lot of people who get into textile upcycling as a business, raise your hand if you've gotten into textile upcycling as a business and you would really like to see the money. Give me the money. Am I right? For years, that was me, man. Like just working my tail off, educating gently, trying to like figure out how to make money with my passion and at the same time sort of sway the tide, right? Like get people to really start thinking about their textile purchasing and what they're using, and is it something that's going to last a while, is it something that they really love and want to continue to use. So when I'm thinking about this presentation that I'm doing this week, October 8th, I need to make a recording for them ahead of time just in case some kind of tech thing happens. So the assignment, if you will, is to kind of talk about why, like my big why. And that kind of draws me back into the Stitcherhood Alchemist is like our first foundation is your big why. Like, why do you do what you do? What is it about textile upcycling that really resonates and makes you feel compelled and passionate and excited to continue doing it? For me, there's two things that are just consistently from the very start of when I started this back in 1987, you guys, to now is I want to make money and support my lifestyle, and I want to change the way humans consume textiles on planet Earth. And it's really funny when I think about it because like those things were like the two things. Like when I started age 20, I was passionately, completely 100% sure I was going to change the way the world consumes textiles. And the funny thing is I'm here 35 years later. Actually, I think it's 37 years later. I haven't changed a bit. It hasn't changed. I'm still 100% convinced that together with, I'm going to need your help, guys. I can do that. I can change the way the world consumes textiles without the doom and gloom, optimistic creativity, and I can support my ideal lifestyle with textile upcycling. So if you are interested in doing that as well, it's totally possible. Let me just tell you that 100%, like you can do this. And there's a couple ways you can learn about it. So the thing that I was sharing about earlier, if you just tuned in, Salvage Magazine is, I think I have to say it is my favorite magazine. Salvage is just this gorgeous publication that comes out of London. They are running something called the Wardrobe Revolution Weekend coming up October 8th and 9th. And I will be presenting. I'm super excited about that. And I just encourage you to check that out and follow them. They have a beautiful Instagram feed if you're on Instagram. They have, I mean, the publication is quite expensive, which is kind of the biggest drawback for most people. If you buy the individual, like, copy of it. I think that's right around $30. The subscriptions are much less expensive, and it comes out. I think it comes out 8 times a year, if I remember. But really, just you know, I mean, the photography, the sensibility, the kind of really the attention that's paid to detail and to the artists that are kind of ancient and carrying legacies forward, and then those of us who are fresh and just kind of following our own creative path is they kind of mix those two together and just have a really beautiful presentation. So check that out. Also, if you're with me now live, tell me if are you listening live or is this a recording, and where are you tuning in from? I love to see how far people, the beauty of these platforms that we're all that are accessible to most of us is the reach, you guys. Like when I started my business back in 1985, I was just going through all this historical information. I had catalogs that I printed, which cost a ton of money. I would give them to people in person at shows, and I would send them in the mail. And it cost like, I don't know, a few dollars just for the mailing. So, this platform and the reach that we have to connect and create community just by showing up, right, is amazing. It's just what a gift. Can you imagine, just for a minute, think about how that pandemic would have been without Zoom, live streaming, social media, email. Like, oof, we really had a pretty, I mean, I know there's a lot of sorrow and grief associated with those who lost loved ones during the pandemic, but it would have been exponentially harder without the connections that we were able to continue to nurture through these online platforms. So, and with as well, we are able to participate in things like an international presentation about the wardrobe revolution that's happening across the world. So I will be presenting with the Salvage folks for their wardrobe revolution weekend coming up October 8th and 9th. And without all of that technology, it just wouldn't be possible. So I want to say hello. Like Melissa, you're from Northern Utah. You're coming in live. Thank you. Donna Lynn Shaw is out in Santa Barbara. Now, Donna Lynn and I met back in the beginning of my business, actually. And I have to tell you this quick story because I feel like as someone who's been doing what I do for such a long time, I would not be where I am today without mentors. And all along the way, people raised their hand and said, hey, I can help you with that if you're interested. And Donna Lynn is one of those people. I met Donna Lynn at a store that was initially called Christmas Secrets. And it was this cute little store that was only open from Thanksgiving till Christmas. Am I right, Donna Lynn? And it was like a 6-week window. I was a college student and I really needed to earn some extra income. So I submitted my work for their jurying process and was accepted. And lo and behold, I think I was the youngest member of that cooperative. That was the craft store cooperative. And I had 70 mentors who from all, Donna Lynn was working with fiber. There were people, jewelers and woodworkers and metalsmiths and, furniture builders and whatever. And, it was just this amazing luxury to have all of this shared knowledge available. Sorry if Instagram just looked a little weird because I got a phone call. Are you still with me? Let me see if I can fix this. Hold on one second, guys. If anybody's on Instagram, just let me know how it's working for you. Are you able to hear me? Am I still with you? Let me know, please. And over here on the Facebook and the, let's see, the YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So yeah, back to the Christmas Secrets. So after Christmas Secrets was open for that 6-week window, there was a group of people, and I believe, Donna Lynn, you were one of them, who just decided, you know what, this is working out so well. Like, let's keep this going for a little bit. Let's see if we can find a space that's going to allow us to stay there longer. And the thing that was cool, like the kind of method or the business model was Christmas Secrets would find a vacant storefront that was in a super hot location somewhere in the Cambridge, Boston area. It was, I think, always in Cambridge, actually. Um, that we could you occupy for that 6 week period between Thanksgiving and Christmas here in the US. So, that was pretty easy. And lots of the realtors were super excited about having a fun, active thing happening in an empty storefront. It brought people in. It probably made the space much more appealing to possible or potential tenants. So the, long and the short of it is that Christmas Secrets turned into a store that's now called the Cambridge Artists Cooperative. And Donalyn is online with me right now. She is one of those original members that I met back in the day as a college student. And I wonder if anybody knows, does the Cambridge Artists Cooperative still have a storefront in Harvard Square? I have not been down that way to visit in a long time, so I'm really not sure. But it's a really great model. And I think that, Donalyn, actually, maybe we should do a little podcast interview about that business model, because I feel like it's a really lovely opportunity for people to kind of test the waters, right? Like if you're a craftsperson and you're thinking about, really diving in and starting a business, um, it's a nice way to try it out. It's not like a huge commitment. You don't have this like lease that you have to be, beholden to for a long period of time. If things don't work out, you can try out a location for a short window of time and just see how that works for you. So the model I'm speaking of at this moment is the one that is used by the Cambridge Artists Cooperative in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I'm seeing now that Donalyn is a member of the Crimson Holiday in Santa Barbara, California. They're open from October 15th to New Year's Eve. And Donalyn, is that business model similar? I'm kind of thinking it is. Is it a cooperative like the Cambridge Artists Cooperative is? I'd love to learn more about that. So if anybody's interested in trying something like that out, I think I'll do a little podcast episode just explaining that in a little more depth. Speaking of podcasts, you guys, so it's been a dream. I'm going to say 10 years, maybe more. I've been talking, thinking, just like going through, how do I do a podcast in my head for many, many years? And if you know me, you know that I have 1,000,004 ideas and I only have time to do 4. I just wish we could make our days 72 hours long. Anybody else? I always remind myself when I get like going and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just don't have time to do everything. I remind myself that some people get bored. I'm not sure if I've ever been bored, but anyway. So I launched a podcast back in July. It was an amazing response, you guys. Like seriously, hundreds of people downloaded, like followed, subscribed. Holy crow. Totally blew me out of the water. It's called Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling Podcast. And again, if you know me, I kind of just like start things and I kind of figure them out as I go. And one of the things I figured out about the podcast is that the platform we were using for recording was making it really difficult to edit. So rather than just kind of like jumping into another platform and just trying out different things and having it be like a really big time suck, I am actually taking the month of September to refine my podcasting process and get that so that it'll be a weekly release every Monday morning. So beginning October 3rd, we are going to have our next episode release, and we're gonna do like a formal launch. So if you guys are interested in being part of that, there's going to be some really cool fun ways to connect about that. And I have to sort of share a little bit more because I'm kind of like into storytelling, just in case you didn't notice. But before I go off on that tangent, I would like to know, does anybody have any particular questions for a Textile Alchemy session? Questions about my business experience, questions about textile upcycling, the processing involved, anything that comes to mind. If you post those, and you can post those in the comments, whether you're listening live or as a recording, post a question, because I look for ways to answer those questions. And I don't often know what your questions are unless you ask them. I just kind of imagine. And, that's not, you don't want to assume, right? So, okay, back to the podcast. Post those questions, no matter where you are, whatever platform you're on right now. We will check and make sure that any of those questions that would make a healthy textile upcycling alchemy episode on a Tuesday morning at 11, we will plug that right in. And so, podcast, Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling Podcast is going to relaunch October 3rd. And you know how there's swag, you guys, you go to an event or you listen to a radio station or you run a race and there's like t-shirts or coffee mugs or whatever. I get a little like put off by the swag, right? Like, because it's usually kind of crappy, like stuff that you're probably not going to wear unless you wear it to bed at night, or like, I don't know, t-shirt, like if you're gardening or cleaning the house or something like that. So I decided, what would make that right? How can we make like people really cool commemorative things that are going to remind them of however that connection happened? If it's the podcast, if it's the summit that we have coming up in April, how can I make that right? And what I decided is that I was going to call upon some dear friends that I have made over the years running my business who are also makers, and I'm going to ask them to help me. So right now I'm working with my dear friend Dan Bello, who is an amazing potter based in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, and he and I are designing a Rags to Riches textile upcycling mug. So there are going to be mugs. I'm going to need your help deciding which design is going to be most appealing. So those will be coming up pretty soon. And you're going to be able to win mugs and other fun, still in the works stuff when our podcast relaunches. So the Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling Podcast, there's 6 episodes out right now. You guys can go listen to them if you haven't had a chance to already. Please share them, subscribe, leave comments. Let me know what you like. Let me know what maybe did not resonate with you too. It's on all those places, the Apple Podcasts. It's not on Spotify, but that's part of our relaunch, is it will be on Spotify. It's on Stitcher. I mean, I don't even really know all the names of the places it is, but it's out there. Google, check it out. So, and let me know what you think. So I don't want to keep you too much longer because I try to keep these sessions to 20 minutes, but I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, joining me today. Check out the Salvage Wardrobe Revolution Weekend coming up October 8th and 9th. I will be presenting with them on October 8th. So if you're interested in seeing how that comes together, please join me for that. And also listen to the podcast and think about ways that you might be able to, if you're not already out there selling your work in a setting that works really nicely for you, think about the possibility of creating a cooperative style business that might just be a temporary, like almost like a pop-up. Maybe, Donalyn, I think that Christmas Secrets might have been the original pop-up. Now there's a name for them. So thanks again, everybody. Donalyn, smooches, hugs to you. To you, Melissa, to Rochelle, who else is out here with me? Somebody from Cape Town. That's amazing. Hello, hello, hello. And let's see. And I think, did I come back on the air? I hope I did. I think I'm on the air right now. Anyways, you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you next week right here, same time, same station.